we're back at it. I just spent a couple of hours exploring the extent of this rot, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. This is the fiberglass. Beyond that is that tongue and groove. The core is completely rotten in places. It's the usual story where it's good. It's very good indeed, including this beam. I don't know. The bad news is, the troubling news is, there's a diagonal beam that runs along the side of the cockpit. I was hoping was intact, but most of it's pretty much rotten. Solution? Don't know yet. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, and I was gonna focus on removing the center fuel tank this weekend, but I don't know. I may decide I have to remove this entire cockpit. It's hard. It appears to be only this one corner. And the good news, if you want to call it that, is that there's a little rotten deck ply, but not as much as it could have been. I'm also learning about how this was put together. The plywood was nailed to the deck beams, and then the teak screws, although they do catch the beams in most places, they were added after. For what that's worth to me, I don't know. Yeah, I got to, before I go any further with this, I'm definitely going to remove this panel. Happily, there's a multi-pin disconnect a couple feet down the line there that allows you to disconnect it without having to redo a whole bunch of connections. So that'll be pretty straightforward. Although it kind of looks like it was epoxied in the panel. We'll see when I try to remove it. That'll be fun. Yeah, mucho rot. I gotta remove some more fasteners that I hope are simply the ones that I can see plugged in the tongue and groove, so I don't have to destroy more tongue and groove before I can get the rest of these chunks off. I don't want to necessarily cut around them or cut through the fasteners, I guess. I don't know. Needless to say, there's not a lot of room in here. But it's doable. It's all going to be doable, maybe without removing the cockpit. I don't know yet. I got to think about it. So it's finally done. I've just got the center tank out this morning. And yeah, these are, I don't know what that's about. If that's a repair or access was needed, maybe. This was converted from water to fuel. Sorry, there's something. I've manhandled this thing enough to. I heard something rattling around. Yeah, there's something rattling around in there. So it's also not good. What a pain. Whew, what a pain. But hey, you know, if I hadn't done this project, I wouldn't have discovered my thrilling new rod around the cockpit. This is the one threaded rod that supported it in that corner. Iron, steel. Maybe it was stainless at one time, but it's done. I haven't even started thinking about how I'm going to repair that. I'm going to make some small changes, I think. As for these, I'm probably still going to bring them to the tank guy nearby and talk about having new ones made, probably out of aluminum, but I don't know if they'll be the exact dimensions of these, and I don't know if I need that big of a day tank in the center. I don't know why this one is so much longer. This one, the starboard one, was really, really hard to get out. I just barely got it out, so I think whatever the case, they're going to be both be shorter, this length or shorter. I don't know if they'll have the full. These are tapered in two directions. Pretty fancy. And again, they're not leaking yet, but I don't want to go with these. Anyway, it's nice to finally have them out. At this point, I'm just sort of cleaning up and whatnot, backing out the bilge, because I just got a lot of debris in here from the surgery, and fasteners and junk. Here, this is the head of the bilge pump, the manual bilge pump that was mounted over there on the starboard side. But check out this one. This thing is the intake for the one that's mounted in the cockpit, and it works. I've tested it in the water, but Holy 1930s, 1940s? I don't know. It definitely needs some TLC. I'm probably just going to replace it. I don't know. Got to do my research. Maybe this is like a highly desirable type. It kind of looks like it has a check valve built into the head, which is kind of cool. I'm not even sure if the other one has a check valve. I just had to pull it out so I could clean underneath it. So today, I think I'm going to clean up in here a little more, move a couple more things, and get some paint on the old paint. I'm probably going to stop where the old paint stops because that wood is in great shape. It's got a thinned layer of red oxide or red lead primer. It'll be fine. It's been fine for almost 50 years. All of that entire area is above the water line normally. But I gotta scrape and get new paint on here. I've already removed those little hold down blocks from the water tank. I think I'm gonna remove this piece of oak. It's not structural. It was just supporting the water tank, as was that block. I could certainly use that oak for other stuff. It's in good shape. That one there was also for the water tank, but I'm going to leave it because that's kind of a nice extra thing. And I see they also bolted it to the stem, so I could be wrong about that. And I'm probably going to cut that plywood back more or remove it. I think I'm going to have to remove that nice teak or mahogany cleat. Anyway, I'm probably not going to be able to do it neatly, but those are the breaks, because things are going to change in here. I think I've talked about that before. I started to take the nut off of this carriage bolt, and look what happened. That's really badly hourglassed, even though this wasn't a terribly wet area. Interesting. It's probably for the best that I'm getting rid of this. Same with this one. Came right off. The good news is that means I have to pound this off and or drive those out. The good news is they went in from aft, so these will have room to come out. Anyway, that was really easy, but look at that. This is called hourglassing. When the fastener begins to taper. I mean, it's down to like a needle. But the rest of it is fine. I think water was just getting between the washer and the wood and pooling in there, or something. It could be galvanic, electrolytic galvanic in nature, this corrosion, because these are bronze. I don't know. So this is how this was done. I definitely made the right call here. This stuff is, yeah. This was working. I got a new bulb for it, and I found it was very dim. I didn't take a voltage reading, but I'm gonna guess it was quite low. This is kind of heavy cable for this, but I understand. Probably not outdoor rated. It was also wise that they put a drip loop like that instead of going straight down with it. I really want to try to figure out a way to go down through the stanchion so it's all inside when I rerun it. There will be a drip loop, you know, like here or something like that. But anyway, this wiring is toast. The light's gonna stay where it is. As for this gland, I don't know. I probably I gotta seal that. I don't know if it's not gonna run through here. I guess I should get rid of this gland. Yeah. Yep. Let me see if I can, there's about 5 feet of wire inside there. I wonder if it'll come out. Maybe. Or do I have to do it from below? Oh, here we go. There's some silicone in there. Kind of lubricating it. I'm gonna stand up. I'm not going to put a plug in it tonight. The sun is going down, but I'm probably going to put something in there. Come on, you can do it. You want to come out of there. Nope, there's a loop or a knot or something in there. Okay, that's fine. For now, I'm not going in. I'm going in there tomorrow. I'm going to spend the whole day in there tomorrow dealing with that rotten beam. I'll pull it out when I go in there to do that. Meanwhile, it's not going to rain for another couple days. What a great week of weather we've had. I haven't gotten as much done as I should, but it's been nice to not have to stop and close everything up every time it starts pouring. I even left the boat pretty much wide open last night when I went back to work because I knew it wouldn't rain. Well, wow, that's really, really old electrical tape. Tucked it under here. I'm trying my best to not scratch the bronze. Oh, come on. There we go. Wow. This is really well done, but it's definitely old. Again, I think it's cotton twine with slush on it. Probably a mixture of, well, probably a mixture of pine pitch or some kind of tar and linseed oil and turpentine or some kind of magic recipe. I'm glad I'm recording this because I'll know how to do it when I redo it. Huh. All right, let's roll this up. It's a cool look. I mean, these would look resplendent if they were cleaned up and polished, but bronze doesn't stay looking that pretty very long. If I had a crew, they would be part of, like, be twice a week they'd be polishing the bronze, but I ain't gonna do it. It looks good with a patina, and you don't have to worry about it. Once the patina protects it, you don't really have to do anything at all to bronze except maybe I don't know, clean it a little bit, just wipe it off every now and then, get everything except the patina off, get that pollution and maybe salt residue and stuff like that. I wonder if they used a serving hammer, serving mallet on this. Not the first blood I've shed on this boat. This boat will literally be full of my blood, sweat, and tears before I'm done with it. That's getting a little too long. Not too many tears, thankfully, but I've definitely, like when I found that rod the other day, I almost curled up on the settee and cried myself to sleep. It was a bit of a shocker. But I knew I'd have at least one moment like that when I bought the boat. I knew there would be stuff I didn't know about. All part of the program. I'm only doing this side right now because I want it to match. Or something. There I go, I'm showing you. This is a great shot, isn't it? It's me, I. In retrospect, I should have put the camera back over there for this, but whatever. I may not even use this shot. Such a beautiful day. There wasn't much wind today, but there were some sailboats on the river. I should have got some shots of that. Maybe tomorrow I'll make a point of doing that. Have lunch by the river and see what's going on the water. Oops. Yeah, it would have been a lovely day for sailing. But we're not quite ready to sail. Not quite ready. Soon. Soon enough. Maybe it's not solid. Maybe, oh, I know what it is. It's not solid. They drilled through this and then they put this tube through it and they brazed it. Yeah, that's why there's no opening. To pass the cable through there, I'd have to come in below it. There used to be some kind of bracket for like, I have a picture somewhere. I'll include that. I think that's what was going on here. I don't know if I'm going to use this. I have a lot of interesting ideas about what to do forward of this. For now, I could pass a lifeline through there. That would be a very simple way to terminate a lifeline. You know, just put a stopper knot at the end, or I don't know, or pass it out and tie it off. I think I pointed out before, these pads are in pretty bad shape. I may have to, if I'm going to pass it down through it, assuming it's got to be hollow. It's got to be. Hard to tell. But if it was solid, it would be so heavy. To pass it through, I'd have to unmount this to drill a hole through the cap rail anyhow. So maybe solar panels in this vicinity at some point, in which case I'll probably send that cable down through these as well. Maybe with a disconnect out here, which means I may have to take this one off too. So here we are after one quick coat of Intralux bilge coat, which probably wasn't the best product to use for this. Use the whole quart doing that. A lot of it is just soaking into the wood, but it's a layer of something. Ideally, one would spray paint inside here, and I initially nixed that idea because of the prep and the cleanup and everything, and I don't have a sprayer. I'd have to get one. But this was such a pain to crawl around in there and to try to paint in a way that would keep me from having to lean on or sit in wet paint. I got plenty of it on me, but yeah, I think it would be worth it. All the masking and all that stuff would be so worth it, because it would take about 5 minutes to just spray this whole thing, including the raw area forward. Why not? So I might still do that. But at any rate, it's got a little more protection on it now, especially the bare spots. So I've decided to delete these points and not use that metal swim ladder. I'm going to eventually make one out of rope and wood. It'll be lighter, easier to stow, more durable in the long run, and just better. But I have some very, very tiny holes to fill. I don't have any teak bungs this small. I don't have any coring bits. So I'm gonna try to just make little dowels out of this, rough ones, and jam them in there, probably with a little bit of epoxy. I see part of the reason why water wasn't getting past these is that these points are actually raised a little bit. When the brackets were mounted here, I guess, between sanding, shrinkage, wear and tear, the teak has receded away from it. I may have to sand this more than I thought I would. No, I need... There's no bung there. Someone put a stainless pan head in there. There's no bung here. There's just a bunch of epoxy. I'm gonna... Yeah, there's some... Ooh, yeah, that's gotta be... The seam has gotta be redone. This whole... All the decks really need to be done, but I think I'm just gonna take care of this area today. And on the starboard side. That's gotta be reefed out and redone. Well, I started trying to whittle one of these, and then I remembered I have some teak sawdust. I think it would be better for every reason, and certainly quicker, to just mix some of that with epoxy and get it in those holes. Maybe I should have used the tip. I have another one of those tips that automatically mixes this stuff. I'm going to cut it very, very fine. Yeah, well. Yeah, I could have made these holes much bigger and gone with the bungs I have. Like, I think I still have some 5/16, but I'd rather not. I'd rather keep these holes small. Excess out there. There. Some dust here from when I was cutting that thing in the head. It should be mostly teak dust. There's some paint flakes in it. Just keep going back and forth. Of course, the day I chose to do this is the first breezy day this week. Figures. How's that look? So let that dry. We will let that dry. Meanwhile, I gotta reef this out. No waste of epoxy. I should have made a lot less than that. Fold this over, maybe it'll stay fresh enough that I can take care of these missing bungs. instead of dealing with the Sikaflex right now. Better not be a nail. It's a flipping nail. They do that. Oh, there's so much epoxy on it. I can't really tell. I guess I'm gonna have to try to just stick a bung on top of that. Yeah. Maybe I can drive it in a little bit more. And one just popped off of there. You know what this guy could be? To line up the grain and everything without getting epoxy everywhere. It's almost impossible. That's pretty half-assed. But you know what? Better than nothing. It better come out. Oh, thank goodness. There's still enough thread. Extract it. I'm gonna have to drill it out and extract it. Oh, damn it. Oh yeah, baby, come on. Come on, you little so-and-so. Yeah. Not even really worth saving. There you go. We'll trim that later. Now, yeah, I'm going to redo some of the Sikaflex in this area, but I'm going to let all this stuff kind of dry first. Trim this off, sand it a little more, reef that out, mask it like I did on the aft deck. Really, I'm going to have to do every inch of this deck. I see every time I come up here, I see more bungs missing, and I'm pretty much out of this size. I got to get a coring bit so I can drill my own. I've got plenty of bits of teak now. Let's go to the other side. My gut tells me to stop there. Hey look, we got another missing bung. Yay. Looks like another nail with a bunch of epoxy on it. Closer. Oh yeah. It's like done. That's not completely separated. This is done. Proper knife. GoPro, stop recording.